he was getting ready to go on trial before Festus. And he told him, said, listen, he said, when I was on the road, when I was Paul, and back in the day, he said, I had people murdered, I had people killed. I held the coat of those that stoned Stephen to death. I even caused people to blaspheme, he said. But he said, me and my men, while we was on the road and onto a place, to a city called Damascus, he said, there was a bright light shined on me and it knocked me off my horse. You ought to look at your neighbor and say, we need knocked off our high horse. But he went on and he got saved and gave his life to the Lord, Sister Christy. 25th and in the 26th chapter, he went on and he stood before Festus. And he said, listen, said, I don't want to stand trial here. He said, the Jews have nothing to condemn me over. They false accused me, Jew. Anybody ever been false accused?
Yeah.
Sister Wanda, Rudy, I love you guys like brothers and sisters. And I know you carry tough loads, Wanda, for standing for what you stand for. But they sung a song, after a while, it'll all be over.
After a while, the sun's going to shine.
After a while, the sun's going to shine. I didn't come up here, but I'm just going to tell you what I said.
Thank you.
I'm on fixed income. You're talking about a man, and please don't take this wrong, I grossed $310,000 back in 04. It's a lot of money. Now I live on $1,300 a month. Not for long.
Come on, son.
But I put some things off. Come on. But I told somebody the other day, I said, I've got friends that love me.
Yeah.
I opened up a little card that came in the mail Friday. Pastor Mark Saylor and Liberty Chapel family. Opened it up and said, maybe this will help you a little bit. People was looking for me while I was going through this moment in my life of the church to push me away, but the church has drew me near. The church has done their job and you've opened up your home to me. Junior, I remember coming to your house years ago. And I wasn't as close as you was, Arnold, but I feel like one of your boys that you never had. You got boys and you love them. But I told the church this the other day. I said, I'm going to tell you this right now. If I get where I can't pay my bills, some of you just need to put me a shed out back and keep me up for a while.
Come on.
That's what I told them.
You come and stay with me for
Because I am giving the rest of my life to Jesus. And the next time I come up, the anointing is going to be greater. Come on. The health is going to be better. Because God has gave me a second chance. Tim, God's gave you a second chance. And I know sometime in life you're in a crossroad right now. And you may be confined. You may, I've got to be home this time. I'm going to have supervision here or something. Come on now. It's not always going to be that way.
Come on, son.
But sometimes we got to show people we're trustworthy. Sometimes, Sister Wanda, the trips you made up to Michigan searching for a move of God, actually, honey, I have seen a tremendous growth in you.
Oh, yeah.
You people sitting here today, most of you have been raised with a mommy and daddy. But there's people here tonight that don't know what it was to be embraced by a daddy that loved them all the time. Life deals uncertain hands. But Apostle Paul said, I do not want to stand trial here because the Jews, in other words, they're accusing me of something. He said, send me to Rome. I want to stand before Caesar. So while on his voyage to see Caesar, Lord, the Bible said he boarded a voyage and he boarded a ship. Does anybody feel when you're on your way to the next move in God that just unexpected storms rise up in your life? Can I just talk to you, Brother Jones? I'm not saying this because I'm looking at you. You are one of my favorite. You've got the best spirit, the meekest spirit. But I'm under the realization, and I'm persuaded that there's people under the sound of my voice that is hurting tonight and don't know how to climb out of that rut you're in. I thank God for my test. I thank God for my trial. And I really feel like speaking it by faith that God is going to turn this trial into a blessing.
Amen. Sure He will.
Come on, you think you've had a rough life? What if your own brothers sold you into slavery? They killed an animal and took its hide and put blood on it and took it back to daddy and said, oh, they ate him up, they killed him, come on. But Apostle Paul got his life changed and a big old storm came up over that ocean. And they called that storm by name and they called it Euroclydon. Euroclydon was a hurricane. It drew their ship against the rocks and they said we didn't think it was going to make it. The Bible said they was out on life's sea for 14 days with no food. How many has been out on this ocean called life and you feel like you've not got any food?
Come on, brother.
You've not got any nourishments.
Come on.
Mother back here told me she had that surgery and they tell me, Kevin, one of the main things that you need to do is eat your protein, drink your protein. Wanda, I have went days since I've had this surgery with no food. Don't know how I did it. But I was getting dizzy spells. You know why? My body was not getting what it needed to get. Your spiritual man will starve to death if you don't get nourished. There's times that Pastor Mark will come in here and preach, and he preaches with everything in him. But sometimes you just got to sit on the altar and have a little talk. Sometimes you've got to strengthen the brother. Sometimes you've got to strengthen the feeble hands. Come on, somebody. When Moses couldn't speak for himself, they raised his hand up. He sent a spokesman. But I never read where Aaron spoke for Moses one time. Think about it. God will bring us through. God, it looks dim. It looks dark. I don't know why I feel like a big pep rally cheerleader guy trying to tell you that you can make it, because if I can pull out of what I've been through, you can make it. If I can see sunlight again, Brother Robert. How many be honest with me? And I don't want you to close your eyes and bow your head. Nobody looking around. I feel like talking to you just for a minute. Christian, non-Christian, cold, lukewarm. I wonder how many by the raise of your hand say, Kevin, you are speaking to me tonight. I am in a midlife crisis in my life. I am in a dry season in my life. I want you to lift your hand. Nobody look around. I want to pray for you. Thank God for those in 3 hands. I thank God for those hands. Tonight, God showed up just for you. Listen. Jesus was hungry. He was going about his business. He just came out of the wilderness and the devil came to him in his weakest moment. Brother Robert, the sun will shine again. The devil's coming against marriages where couples can't be intimate, and couples can't love, and couples can't hold, and couples can't cuddle. But don't allow the devil to come in your home and drive a wedge and make distance become between you and your spouse. How many will get up with me right now and make their way to this altar and say, Lord, tonight, I'm in some storms of my life. I've been bit, but God, I'm not going to be broken.